In Thai culture, sacred amulets are so much more than just pieces of metal. They're like little reservoirs of spiritual power, of history, and protection. But even among the thousands of incredible amulets out there, one just stands in a class of its own. One that was created by a teenager whose life, honestly, burned brighter and faster than you can even imagine. This is the story of the Chakraphet amulet.
So here's the big question, right? How on earth did an 18-year-old novice monk, Ajahn Wirat, create one of the most powerful and legendary amulets in modern history, right before his own life was cut tragically short? It's an absolutely extraordinary story, so let's get into it.
To really understand the power of the amulet, you first have to understand the person who made it. And we're talking about a true prodigy, Ajahn Wirat Luptsa, a young man who just seemed destined for something incredible right from the very start. Just look at this timeline. It's stunning how much happened in such a short time. He was born in 1947, and by the age of seven, he was ordained as a monk. By 12, he's already reaching these incredibly deep states of meditation. He creates his masterpiece, the Chakraphet amulet, at just 18 years old, and then, just as it had been prophesied, he passes away at 19. It's an unbelievably short life, but just packed with a lifetime's worth of spiritual accomplishment. But his journey wasn't just happening inside the temple walls. Oh no. From a very, very young age, he was just driven by this intense need to find a deeper, more mystical kind of truth. And that quest, well, it took him a long way from home. Think about this for a second. At only 12 years old, what were you doing at 12? Ajahn travels all the way to the rugged border between Thailand and Cambodia, and there he hunts down and becomes the student of this legendary Khmer sorcerer, a guy named Adorned, who was supposedly 124 years old. This wasn't some casual hobby. This was a serious quest for real power and ancient knowledge. And this is where things get truly otherworldly. During one of his deep meditations on a mountaintop, something incredible happens. His consciousness, his mind, connects with a celestial deity, a being known as Thao Maha Phrom Thada. And this deity essentially downloads sacred cosmic knowledge directly into his mind. This one event becomes the absolute source of the power that he would later pour into his amulet. So, knowing his clock was ticking, that his time here was short, Ajahn focused all of that profound knowledge, all of that spiritual energy, into creating one final, lasting legacy for the world. And this legendary amulet wasn't created for fame or for money. In 1965, he designed it for one simple reason: to raise the funds needed to build a brand new hall for a temple. It was meant to be his final great act of merit before he passed on. And listen, we are not talking about some crude, homemade object here. The amulet was officially minted by the Royal Thai Mint. That's the same government body that makes all the country's coins and medals. It was crafted from high-quality materials, and every single intricate detail on it came directly from the mind of the 18-year-old Ajahn himself. Okay, now let's get into the really cool stuff. This little coin, it's only 3 centimeters across, but it is absolutely packed with an incredible density of sacred symbols, or yantras. So let's zoom in and decode what's actually going on here. So, just at a high level, the front features that deity, Thao Maha Phrom Thada, the source of all his divine knowledge. Then on the back, you've got this powerful chakra wheel and 3 mythical guardians. And you'll notice both sides are circled by 108 prayer beads, which is a super important and auspicious number. Okay, look really closely at the deity's hand on the front of the amulet. You'll see he's holding a tiny ladle. Now, what's that all about? Well, in ancient Brahmin fire ceremonies, this kind of ladle was used to pour offerings into the sacred fire. So its symbolism here is incredibly powerful. It means the deity's just endlessly scooping up prosperity, wealth, and happiness, and just pouring it out as a blessing to whoever holds the amulet. Now, down at the bottom of the front side, there's this really unique symbol. It's called the owl's eye yantra, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. An owl can see perfectly in the dark, right? Well, this yantra is believed to give the wearer that same kind of ability, the wisdom and foresight to spot opportunities and attract good luck, even when things look dark and difficult. All right, now flip it over to the back. And you've got this team of mythical bodyguards. You have the Kasazi, which is part lion, part elephant, and it grants you authority. You've got the Rachasi, a royal lion, for leadership. And finally, the tiger, or Sua, which gives the legendary power of invincibility. It's like a trifecta of protection and status.
But look, an amulet's legend isn't just about cool designs, right? It's built on the stories of its power. And the stories that surround the Chakraphet, stories of miracles and impossible trials, they are what truly cemented its legendary status. So picture this. They're in the middle of the final blessing ceremony for the amulets. Suddenly, people in the room start reporting this really strange feeling, a sudden, intense, piercing coldness that just passes right through them, like a giant block of ice was floating by. The belief was that these were Ajahn Nan's invisible spiritual masters, maybe even Adorned himself, showing up to add their power to the ritual.
And as if that wasn't enough proof, the universe decided to provide an even bigger one. Before the amulets could even be given out, a fire swept through Ajahn room. Everything was burned to a crisp, everything except for the altar table where the freshly blessed amulets and sacred cloths were sitting. They were found completely untouched by the flames. It was seen as an undeniable miracle. Okay, this next part is, well, it's just wild. To actually receive your pre-ordered amulet, you had to undergo something called a trial by blade. You would show up, choose a weapon, a sword, a dagger, whatever, and it would be used to literally strike you to prove the amulet's power of invincibility. And the legend says that not a single person was harmed. It was a visceral, undeniable test of the amulet's protective power. Just incredible. So, you're probably wondering, how much did this cost? The price to pre-order was 500 baht. Now, that might not sound like a lot today, but let me put that into perspective for you. Back in 1965, 500 baht was more than the price of 1 baht weight of solid gold. This was a hugely valuable and significant investment right from day one. But after all of that, after the magic, the invincibility, the prophecies, and the miracles, the ultimate blessing that the deity Thao Maha Phrom Thada put into the amulet was this. It wasn't about power or wealth in the end. The highest blessing was that the amulet would serve as a constant reminder of the purest, most powerful blessing a person can ever receive, the love of their own parents. It turns the amulet from just a tool of power into this profound symbol of gratitude. And really, what greater magic is there than that?